Good morning. Rob Fenimore here with a preview of this Thursday, April 8th, event at Parish Resource Center on an introduction to restorative circles. An idea that I wanted to prime you for that we'll be covering in more detail on Thursday evening is the idea of setting the table for the circle process. Please remember that a circle process is simply a tool. Well, the reason we use this tool is for many, we get more connection, we get more community. But I just want to sort of get you thinking a little bit about how we invite others to be able to best access what this tool can do for us. I know in taking part in different circles in my career and in my personal life, sometimes a circle, not enough work's gone into it so that I feel comfortable being my authentic self. And this is just even get to know you or community building circles. When we have to talk about that tough stuff that requires the most of our minds and of our hearts and of our intentions and of our experiences, maybe about a hot topic or a harm that was done in our place of worship or in our place of work or someplace that we're attending, what we want is connection, and then we get to intimacy. We can't rush this feeling intimate with one another. We don't want a circle to bring about a spectacle. We don't want to use the circle to make people feel uncomfortable. One of the ideas that has been really successful for me working with adults and with learners is to really make sure that I'm explaining the purpose of the circle, the reason we're using this tool. For example, if there is a classroom setting, whether that's Sunday school or in a school setting, that we want to talk about that might require us to be vulnerable, might require us, or certainly invite us to take a risk. We want to make sure that we explain that the circle is meant to bring us a little bit closer, not with judgment or convincing one another that we're right or justified, but maybe to connect with one another in a way that allows us to empathize with integrity, that we're not just rushing this, that we're not forcing it through. What we want to do is make sure that our participants understand that a circle process in part is about discovery. It's about leaning in to possibly connecting with another person to understand more fully, maybe better, what it is they've experienced, what it is that they're thinking, what it is they're feeling. Sometimes there isn't a lot of preparation for the liminal opportunity that a circle is. We don't always know where it will go. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. That takes a collective interest in leaning into and possibly accessing. We don't know what's going to happen. We're all in this together. With a trained facilitator, what we can do is be able to play off one another, learn from one another, make sure that we're actually listening to one another. We don't do this to make people feel uncomfortable. We do this to open up an opportunity for a connection. And what we're hoping for on Thursday evening is for those of you, whether you're working in schools, in hospitals, in churches, even with a tough conversation or an exciting conversation or a planning conversation in your own homes, that you have a couple of the basic skills down for being able to facilitate, take part in more fully a circle process. One of the tools that I use while I'm using a circle with students and even with adults. I model this with teachers quite often, is I use my buddy Grover here. And what I like about Grover is he's one of the Muppets from Sesame Street. What I like about Grover so much is he's an emotionally available Muppet. What I like about Grover is he makes mistakes. He tries really hard, but sometimes he gets too excited and things go awry. And what's so cool is that the community often, whether it's a kid on Sesame Street or whether it's another Muppet, they'll often surround him, They pay attention to him, they hear him, they connect with him, they empathize with him, and we see that he meant well and that he had the best of intentions, but sometimes things go wrong. And, if we treat circles as opportunities to address harm, to build community, to celebrate, to more actively hear from one another, sometimes there's bumps. Sometimes not everyone's available emotionally or with their attention, to be able to take full part in what the circle offers. Even in my personal life, if I'm sitting in a circle, whether it's a family reunion or something that's a little bit more intimate, if somebody asks me a question, I can come up with an idea really quickly, but then I feel like I spend a lot of time trying to judge the environment where I am at the moment. Are these people going to be able to understand what I'm saying? Will I have room to really explain what I'm saying? Will I be judged if I come out in something different than what the room appears to approve of? This has happened to me in church, in men's groups, where we're all just trying. We're going to ask these tough questions and we're going to get in there and we're going to wrestle with our ideas. Well, sometimes I don't know how to wrestle with ideas with a new group. And I think that's what's, again, so important. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail about making sure that the participants understand the purpose of the tool of a circle, that they understand what they can expect in an open environment where people are going to be able to go around and make sure everyone's heard, the care that's going to be taken and put into preparing the questions, why we're using it, where this may go. There's nothing wrong with making sure your participants understand what's going to happen so that they can prepare for it to the best of their ability. And we don't need to surprise anybody. It takes a while for different people to be able to open up and share and reflect publicly on topics ranging from politics to religion to how business is done where you do work. So we're looking forward to seeing you. I hope everyone's well, and it's going to be a good evening. So be well, take care, and we will see you on Thursday, April 8th at 7 o'clock. Take care.